Hey guys, this is 2BH, Irresistibly Honest. Hello, my name is Adrian,
My name is Gabriel.
and we're gonna thank you first of all for whoever's watching, wherever you are. On YouTube now. Pretty much this one is only on YouTube now.
Exactly.
And first of all, I don't know if you noticed, Eddie's not here today.
Eddie's gone.
He's out for personal reasons. So we're gonna continue today without him.
Yeah, just to keep the schedule going, not to miss a day.
Especially since we are starting now, we wanna keep going at it.
Exactly.
Today, we want to talk about, school, considering that school's out for the summer
Yeah,
for most people.
For whoever's going to school.
Yeah, so some of you probably are still going.
Which, I don't know why. But
It's already summer, the pools are open.
exactly.
If your district's still going to school, we're sorry. We're sorry.
Sorry to hear that. And I want to start off talking about teachers because that's exactly what I was thinking about actually today. And now that I've been going to college and I've been thinking back from high school to college, you get like different teachers each semester, and each of them have like their own thing, you know what I mean? Like you get those teachers that are like very serious and like will usually get bored with a subject, like history, you know what I mean? And you also get those teachers that are more fun and they really they really make you enjoy the topic, you know what I mean? It's just a lot of different types of teachers and also with homework. I've noticed that that's a big difference as well, like how often they give you homework or if they even give you homework at all. I love those that don't. I love those teachers.
I know. You have a lot of different type of teachers, especially some that like still like teach the same way they teach in high school, and
True.
not really a fan of that. I much
I know.
prefer the teachers that they treat you as an adult. They know that if you want to pass the class, you study.
You're gonna do your shit.
Yeah, you're gonna do your
Exactly.
part of the work.
Uh-huh. And I mean, I guess it also comes with the students because now once you're in college, a lot of teachers still care about you and they still, remind you like, hey guys, there's a quiz coming up, study, or like remember the homework or something. But there's also teachers that they don't tell you anything, and they're like, there's the syllabus. For those of you who don't know what the syllabus is, it's like pretty much what would you say, like a plan of the whole semester.
Yeah, pretty much just a schedule, sort of.
Yeah,
Like
a schedule. With all the homework and all the quizzes, stuff like that. So you know what you should be studying, and they always tell you know the chapter before you go. And some teachers just give you that, and that's it. You're good to go, and they don't remind you of anything. Which I hate that because I do forget things a lot of times, and oh man, I hate it when like they're like, okay, we're gonna have a quiz over the chapter that you should have read, and I didn't read them at all. So I hate those. Well, I hate them, but only because it's my fault. So at least I accept it,
Yeah, and there's also those teachers that like have a syllabus, but they don't really like keep to the schedule.
Okay.
This last semester, like I actually had one where like I was looking at the end of the semester and looking at the syllabus. I'm like, well, we didn't saw that. We didn't saw that.
Oh,
we
like
didn't
they
saw
just
that.
yeah. Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, where we saw the last week of school was pretty much like almost a month behind what we were supposed to do the whole
Whoa.
time. Yeah, it was.
What about like the last exam? Like, did you actually did it cover what you had covered?
Yeah,
or?
it covered everything we'd covered, but like definitely wasn't as much as we were supposed to, like
Oh, I see.
according to the syllabus at least.
Wow. But there's some like the whole changing of schedule and everything, like that's okay sometimes. It could go very well or very bad, because there's those teachers that are like, I'm gonna push back the test to next week. You know what I mean? And those are nice because then you get I guess another day to study. And then there's the others that are like, okay, we're not covering that, but learn it on your own type of thing. I hate those, man. Those are rough. And going back to high school, or because that's what I was thinking the other time, like there's a big difference between college professors and high school teachers. Like
Yeah, definitely. Like it's a big difference in most teachers. In some, there's not so much, but
yeah, true.
it's just like the respect, sort of like there's a bit more respect on both sides.
Okay, I see
Yeah,
what
like
you mean.
they treat you like an adult, you treat them like an
I
adult.
know.
So like there's not really like argument, like there's nobody like
I
like
mean, you still see some students trying to argue, but they're pretty.
yeah,
lame.
but like they just look like like the jackass of the class, like oh that dude like he doesn't really want to be here.
Exactly.
Well, as in high school, it's like the normal, like,
Yeah. Oh man, I remember high school and then having all those like the class clowns. You know, like once you move to college, you don't really see that because you're paying for classes. You'd be wasting your money, and it's a lot of money.
I mean, unless you're practicing for a stand-up career, I don't know.
I know, right? Unless that's what you're studying for. Shoot. Yeah, man. Like back in high school, I still remember like I used to love the class clowns because they would distract the teacher for like hours, and we would just be like laughing and until they were sent to the office or something. But they would always like. I remember this one kid in my class. It was like 11th grade, junior year. He would always ask the teacher personal questions like, so tell us a story of like when you got married or how you meet your wife. And oh man, the teacher would go on for hours, and then he'd be in the end like, oh, I forgot we didn't cover this. We'll catch on tomorrow. And everybody would like, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely love the teachers that definitely like play along with like the student. Like they don't just like immediately get mad. You know, like at some point they were like, okay, we have to continue class, but like when they got time, like they you know, they keep the conversation going.
You know, I remember back in high school and I mean, to anyone that went to Riverside High School, you'll know about this. We had this teacher, really good teacher. He was a geography teacher, but I think I was a freshman year. And he was our geography teacher, and the history teacher for the seniors, he got arrested for sleeping with one of the students. So they took away our teacher so he could teach the seniors, because I mean, I guess they're a bit more important to teach since they're about to graduate, and they left us freshmen with a substitute for like 3/4 of the year. And every day I remember we would go in and it'd be just a print out of the book and the questions, and they'd be like, read the book, answer the questions, turn it in, and you're done.
Did you learn anything that semester?
No. All I did was look for the answers, copy, there you go, and we're done.
That's high school life. Like,
exactly.
You don't really care much about learning. Like,
I know.
You just gotta get a grade.
Exactly. And I mean, sometimes you still do that here in high school and in college, I mean.
Yeah, but in college, like, there's classes, like the following classes will probably require you to know this stuff. So like it'll just eventually catch up to you. You know,
okay. Yeah. Hopefully you learn. Try. Even if you're in high school, you should still try.
Yeah, but remember those high school teachers? My favorite ones usually were always the history ones.
Your favorite ones?
Yeah, usually because they had like usually at the beginning of the class, they were talking about like what was currently going on in the country, the world.
Okay.
You know, and like
they were the realest ones though.
Yeah,
for some reason.
Absolutely.
You know,
some of the funnest conversations too.
Yeah. Exactly, and especially now in college. Like now you go to like you see the history teachers in college and like they talk about like screw Trump or like they don't care about religion and they're very very honest. And in high school it's like no, we can't talk about all that stuff. Like especially religion, like they're very taboo about it. You know what I mean? And here in college, there was this teacher who was like, he wrote something on the board and fuck Trump, and I was like, wow. I like this teacher, you know. I like his like. He was so. How would I say it? Like.
Honest.
Yeah, he was just very honest. He would just speak freely, and like the conversations you would have with him was hilarious.
I mean, it's a lot more fun, you know.
Yeah.
And the whole class, even when you actually doing work, like feels more relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when I was in my senior year of high school. For about like half of the first semester, we had this English teacher, which was a good teacher. It wasn't like one of my favorites, but I didn't hate her or anything.
Okay.
And then for some reason, like they had to like move the schedules around, whatever. Pretty much that whole class got sent to another teacher.
Oh, okay.
And this teacher was just known for like how exaggerated like control freaks they were.
Oh, I see.
Like the seating arrangement, like the way you had to take notes. Like every day there was like a certain sort of like paragraph you had to write.
Whoa.
It was like annoying as hell.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like this semester, like this year of school, like they had hired a new teacher. And we had seen her a few times. You know, she had been a substitute, but like since this whole thing that happened, I don't know why. Since my junior year prior and before that, it has been in another school, so I really didn't know the teachers there, so I didn't know if there was another English teacher.
Oh, okay.
like a replace or something. The point is that we only spent like 2 classes with that like teacher.
Oh, wow.
And then eventually they switched us back to the new teacher. And she was awesome. She was chill, you know.
Really? Oh, that's so nice, man.
Those teachers that are barely starting, you know, they're always like...
They're so chill, aren't
yeah,
they?
like... they're still not broken.
I know, right? They're
Yeah.
still not irritated from us. Man,
Yeah.
I used to have this teacher, very young guy.
Yeah, well, let me finish sort of like a bit...
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, dude.
A few extra point,
Get
like...
excited.
yeah, like we were all excited because we knew the reputation of the teacher. Even me, who had only been there for like less than a semester, already knew her reputation.
Ooh,
So like when they told us like, oh no, you're gonna be switching to class, everybody was
so relieved.
happy. Like they were like happy in front of the teacher that got replaced.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but apparently there was this one class that like heard that, and they were like celebrating. But then the teacher told them, "Oh no, you guys still stay with me."
Oh,
Yeah,
he
so-
probably gave him hell, didn't he?
It was a cheat, but yeah, she was probably felt a bit bad, you know. So
Well, I mean, that's her own fault in the end.
yeah, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't have a good time at that. I'm pretty sure now.
And
'Cause I'm pretty sure she would have taken it out on at some point.
oh yeah, totally. You think teachers? I mean, teachers are human too. You know, they got their own lives outside of work, and I bet they have their own problems at home. You know, like, do you think they ever bring their problems to school and just take it out on the students?
I'm pretty sure a few of them do.
Yeah,
You know?
like now that I'm a bit older, like I realize that they can. You know, it's very possible. Like, screw you guys, you're getting a pop quiz today. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like,
Did you ever have that teacher that would just like randomly just like pop quiz?
I think a few in middle school actually. I think they were just like
Yeah, I guess, yeah. For me it was high school, man. Oh, this one, I think it was like an English teacher, just pop quiz randomly about like Shakespeare and shit, and I'm like, dude, I don't know shit about Shakespeare. And
you haven't taught us anything about Shakespeare. How am I supposed to know anything?
right? No, I think we covered, what was that one book that you always cover in class?
Romeo and Juliet,
Yeah, for sure that one. I know there was another one, but
Macbeth.
Macbeth, there you go. And I think it was about that one. Like we would do like the I don't know if you guys have ever heard this term, but like popcorn reading, when like you read and like you read a chapter or a page, and then you call on to someone else to read. You know?
Oh yeah, we definitely did that. We had a few teachers that did that. Some
Uh-huh.
depending on how many students, like
Yeah,
they have
exactly.
to like going sentence by sentence when you're like a big class.
Oh crap,
Yeah.
that's annoying though. Like, and well, we would always like read a chapter each class because they were quite big chapters, and we would read a chapter each class, and I guess each of us would read like a chapter each, like twice, and then like the next class we would have a quiz on the last chapter, so you really had to pay attention. And I loved it, and for me it was funny, but I bet that the kids hated it when that one kid that had a hard time reading would read, you know. And I mean, not to be an asshole, but it was funny, you know. Like, he would be struggling with the words, and you could see it in everyone's faces, like, come on dude, just say the word. And he was like, you know, just struggling. I feel bad for the dude because he probably felt embarrassed.
Yeah, but a lot of times it's like class clown or something.
Yeah.
Or like the douchebags who are like,
You know, they deserve it. And it was hilarious that, like, when the kids were the assholes, like, they'd bully you outside of class, but then in there, they're like, and you're like, huh, you know?
especially when it's words that like they use every day and like,
Oh, yeah, exactly, man. So sometimes it was worth the laugh, and sometimes I felt bad, but I was like, you could see it in everyone's face, like the irritation they had. It was kind of funny.
yeah. I had a teacher in middle school that had us read a book every 2 weeks.
Whoa.
Yeah, like a whole book every 2 weeks.
Like, how big?
Like we chose the books we wanted, like any book. We just had to read a book.
Can you choose, like,
complete.
Dr. Seuss or?
No, it had to be
Oh.
an actual book.
Well, dang.
Yeah, we usually ended up reading like, well, at least me, like I usually read the books that are not that big, you know, like
Okay.
something that
Possible.
can reasonably be
Okay.
finished in 2 weeks.
I mean, I have some friends that they read huge books like in a week, and I'm like, dude.
I know, I can. I'm a fast reader, honestly. Like, not the fastest, but I'm faster than ever.
reader, man.
It's because of that teacher.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
it's because of her.
So thanks to that teacher.
Yeah, but only one time I read a big book.
Okay.
And like honestly, like the first week I read like a few of the first chapters, and then for the second one, like there's no one finishing this, so I just read the last chapters.
Sad.
Yeah, just to know how it ended, just so I could do my report.
And man, just make up the middle of the story.
Pretty much, or just avoided any information. Like
like any specifics.
Yeah, like
okay. Did you ever like read the back of the book, just to write the summary?
Not really. It was like I said, most of them were pretty reasonable books.
Okay. I remember this in elementary, man. Like in the elementary I went to, they required us to do like tests on the computer to get points for every book we got. So they had this program where you would type in the book that you supposedly read, and it would give you a quiz for that book. And they knew the book, so it would give you like specific questions. Or you could write a summary and all that stuff. So what I would do, I would read the back of the book and I would summarize it in my own words. And we didn't have to make like 600 word, pages or summary. It would have to be like let's say 160 maybe. So I mean, we're in elementary, like it wasn't a lot. But I would always read the back, summarize it, and pass. I would hate it when they would make me do the quiz though, because I didn't know anything, man. And that's why I'm not the greatest reader now.
I get it. These days I do try to read a little bit, I've been reading like a book. Still not finished it. It's a collection of stories, but...
Okay.
But yeah, going back to those days, like I just remember the books I read, like a lot of it, most of them were on the Animorphs books.
Oh, okay. I remember those.
Yeah.
Like the teens that transform into animals?
Yeah, those ones, yeah. I'm only reading because I like the covers,
Dude, they're so cool.
Oh, and each page had like a different drawing, and when you flip through the book, like...
Oh, they transform.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
Pretty much that's the only reason I chose those books, yeah. But they're pretty small.
2 weeks flipping through the pages. Shoot.
Yeah, they're pretty small, so it was kind of easy to finish them in 2 weeks.
I remember them, but I never read them. I'll be honest with you. I never read them. Yeah, man. Like, I remember... I don't know if you remember these. Like, I bet you do. The Goosebumps.
Oh, yeah. I never really read on any of the books, actually. I saw a lot of them, but I never actually read them. I love those
books. I loved them. And I remember... I bought this one in the... back in elementary, that was, like, the only time you'd spend money when they would do, like, the book sale at school. Do you remember that? It was, like, a week or 2 weeks that they would, like, sell books in the library.
Yeah, I remember. I also remember, like, they used to have, like, one day where, like, every student got to pick one book for free. They got, like, the book fair sort of thing, whatever.
True, man. And I remember this one time I bought this Goosebumps book. I remember the cover because I loved it, and that's why I chose it. The cover was shiny, and it was of this puppet. Like an evil puppet in a circus.
I remember that story from the show, but yeah.
Yeah, it was that one. It was a book, and the cover was all shiny, and I don't know if it was like special edition or whatever, but I can't even remember how much it was. But I bought them, and I loved it, and I think I got like halfway through the book, and I was super excited, and this kid stole it, man. I was so pissed, and I never found out who it was, but they stole it from my backpack. Man, freaking kids.
Damn, some kids though, I
know, man. Like, did you ever have that teacher that, how do I say, like they would kind of go against the rules of the school, but they would tell all the students like, no, keep it down, like don't say anything?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I had this one back in high school, and I don't know if anyone that's hearing it might recognize the teacher. I won't say any names or anything, but he used to let us leave early from class, but it was the last class of the day. So sometimes we'd leave early and we just like go home. I remember one time, the class would start at 3 maybe or less, and the class would end like at 4:07. That's when the bell to go to like the end of the day would ring. And sometimes he'd tell us, okay, finish this and you guys can go home early, go somewhere else, go home, whatever, you guys could leave. And one time he said, if you guys pass my class with a 90 or above, you don't have to take the last test of the class, and you get to go home. So we were all excited, right? And I remember I had a pretty good grade because this class was pretty easy. And as soon as I walk into that class, he's like, hey, bro, you have a 92, you can go home. So honestly, I didn't even go to the class. Like, I went, he told me I had a 92, and he said, you could go home. And I was like, wow. And I left, and I remember I was so so proud of it that I went to. I mean, there used to be a bakery. I guess they closed it now, but well, I used to go to Riverside, and anyone who knows, there used to be a bakery on the corner. Now I guess they sell like barbacoa and all that stuff. It looks good, but I've never been there. So I went to the bakery, I bought a bread, and I sent a picture of me eating the bread to all my friends in school. And I was like, deuces, bitches. And they were like, where are you, dude? Are you ditching? And I was like, no. I came out of school legally.
I'm a nerd. Well, you were still breaking the rules, but so was your teacher.
Okay, yeah, but like, he gave me permission. That's what
you're
I'm
breaking
saying.
the rules the nerd way.
There you go. But I was hella proud, dude. I was like, hell yeah. And I walk home. And I think I got home. I mean, I used to walk home, so I got home around the same time where the school ended. But I was like, I'm already home though, you know. It's like I teleported here.
Pretty much.
It was nice though. And that same teacher though, he left us out early later on. And this kid, he was like the typical bad kid type of thing, you know. I don't know, he was just a bad kid of the class. And he let us out early, and he cheated on a paper. He said, whenever you guys finish the paper, you can go. He cheated, and he left. So he went to the office, or someone saw him, and instead of him saying like, oh, like I'm ditching, or I'm going to the restroom, and he said, the teacher let us out early. You know what I mean? So exactly, it was so dumb.
Why the
I don't know. And it was hilarious the next day, because we go back, and the teacher's like, okay guys, so no more going out early, that's it. And we're like, oh, why would that happen? And he's like, well, somebody snitched. I'm not gonna say names, I ain't no snitch like them, but somebody snitched. No, who was it? He's like, all I'm gonna say is that it's in this class. No way. So like, everybody's as they're coming in, did you say anything? And I was like, no, I didn't say anything. And then everyone goes in, right? And we start the class, and again they ask, no, teacher, tell us who it was. And they're like, and the teacher's like, I already said I'm not gonna say any names, I'm no snitch, but that's it, guys, no more leaving early, because they had already gotten mad at him. And then they hadn't asked this one kid, the bad kid, and then they tell him, was it you? And instead of him saying, no, it wasn't me, he was like, yeah, it was me, I said it. And everybody was like, dude, what's wrong with you? And like, some kids threw pencils at him, and they're like, what's wrong with you, dude? It was hilarious.
He ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, man, like, I could have gone to eat more bread, but he didn't let me.
Yeah, because I've also had that happen, but in college, like a lot of teachers are like, they're like, oh, like you can skip your final exam or whatever.
Oh wow!
But then there are also those teachers like, you like pretty much they can only do it till they get caught.
Okay.
So there's a lot of teachers like, oh no, you can't. Like you have to show up, you have to take it, because
I know
they no longer let me do that because they caught me. Like,
dang.
several things like that you like.
Yeah.
One student that they got caught or whatever.
Shoot, I wonder how they get caught though.
Yeah. Also, there was this teacher that sort of like their final exam was literally taking questions from the previous exams. Like he literally copied the questions and pasted them.
Wow.
And like he stopped doing that because like the student cheated. So he's like, well, like I'm giving it like easy to you. And like, nah, I cannot do it. Cause like,
yeah.
So I'm like,
wow, man, they took advantage of it.
No, I just remember this story. Like, well, not story, just sort of like one teacher that I had.
Okay.
One of my least favorite teachers.
Ooh, let me hear it.
Was from college. And
Okay.
He was a government teacher. But the reason why I hated like him so much, for one, like the assignment, like the essays were like the amount of pages was just ridiculous.
Whoa.
Like to the point where you're like, I have no idea how the hell I'm gonna be able to pull this out. Like,
dang.
like you were, even if you started the day he assigned it, like you would still like end up like really like struggling for time.
Wow.
Honestly.
Damn.
And another one is the way you took notes was you copied them from the projector, like speaking notes. But instead of making it in a PowerPoint, he made them a Word document.
Oh my god.
So his notes, like each class was like 5 pages of notes. Damn. From like Word document, or like it wasn't even a big font. So
no
just,
way.
Yeah,
and you had to copy everything?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
the important parts, but like
Uh-huh.
it was a lot of it. Like started to keep up, man. It's like,
that's crazy.
yeah, I hated that teacher.
I can
hated
imagine
that
like
class.
The reason why I really liked that one teacher that let us out early was also because he was really good at teaching. Like, he made it comfortable to learn, you know? Like, yeah, he had PowerPoints, but he wouldn't, like, kill us with them. Like, he would have PowerPoints with pictures, and, like, he would have a lot of information, but he would highlight, like, in yellow or green the important stuff, like the key word of it or something. So it would usually be, like, 6-7 sentences in a PowerPoint, but only, like, 1 or 2 highlighted, and that's all we had to copy. So it was pretty chill, and it was really easy to learn, and I really liked it. You know, I haven't experienced any teachers that skip my exams yet, but I'm hoping I do soon.
Like, what do you mean skip your exams?
Like the teachers that are like, oh, you don't have to take the last one. Oh, you know what? Okay, there was this one that it was actually my last one that he told me, like, so you could skip your last exam because you have a good grade and you still pass with the B, or you come in, take it, and maybe jump to an A. And I went in, and luckily I jumped to an A, but I don't know if that was worth it. But I did it anyways.
I feel like it was. Because it happened to me as well, where it's like, you know, you can literally just like come in and like write your name on the exam, because like he's like, I'll drop the lowest one of your grades. Damn. So like all of the other ones are like pretty good, you know, A's and B's. So like you can pretty much just come in, put your name on the final, and just leave. Or, you know, can try and get a higher grade, you know. And I did. Took it easy, you know. I wasn't stressed or anything. Just relaxed and just came in, like, if I remember answer, if not, well,
Did you feel like such a cool kid just going in, looking at everyone like, look at you all like struggling, and I'm over here taking it chill?
Pretty much. I mean,
that's how I felt. And I went in and I was like, I remember like even laying back on the chair, like, I'm so relaxed right now. Like, I'm not even stretching. I didn't even study for that exam, to be honest with you. Like, I was just like, I'll just go with the information I got in my head, which wasn't maybe the greatest idea, but I did okay. I failed it, but I mean, I passed with an A in the end, so I made it.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good.
Right?
Yeah, but yeah, I love those teachers that like sort of like help you out, you know, like you know, like, oh, you know, let's drop the lowest, you know, because they always know there's always like one exam where you sort of like do bad.
Yeah. Where everyone does math.
Yeah, like, which is usually the first exam of the class, like, like especially math class. You know, usually the first exam of the class, like oh, everybody like failed.
Yeah.
With only a couple of students like getting like actually pass. They know. So they usually like they drop that one, you know. And then,
yeah. You made me remember this one teacher, man. Like, well, since we were talking about like the really laid back teachers, there was this one teacher who was very strict, and it was a weird type of strict, because we would ask her like, hey, can I go to the restroom, and she would give us like hall passes. Did you ever have like hall passes?
Oh yeah.
She would print them out and she would only give you 3. So throughout like a semester, you could only go like 3 times in her class for a whole semester. That's how many months?
Damn.
Like what, 6 months or so?
No, yeah, like 3 months, 3-4 months.
3-4 months
for a whole semester. Yeah, for a whole year, yeah, it's like 6 months, around there.
Well, either way, it was months, and we could only go 3 times during her class time. Like, we had like 8 periods or like 6 or so. I can't remember, but only in her class we could only go 3 times for the whole semester, which I thought was ridiculous, but whatever. So whenever you had to go, you would have to, like, you know, cash in your coupon or whatever you would want to call it. And she had this timer next to her desk. And like, it was this little gray timer or red one, I can't remember, but she was like, okay, your time starts now. And then she would click it and it'd be 5 minutes, and you had to like make it in 5 minutes. Sad thing about it, her class was far away from the restaurant, so you literally had to like sprint out of there, like, okay, 5 minutes, go. And
what was this, middle school, high school?
It was high school, dude.
Damn.
Like, they would time your shit. Imagine if you're constipated, you're screwed. Like, you're gonna be sitting there like, oh shit, I got 30 seconds to run back, and you're gonna have to cut it short. Too bad.
Yeah, there's something I do love about college, that if you just need to go to the restroom, unless you're taking an exam, you can just go. Like, nobody really.
You know what? Nobody ever told me that you could just stand up and leave, and I was the stupidest kid when I went in. I was that dumb kid that would raise his hand like, can I go to the restroom? And they would just look at me like, what the fuck? And at first I didn't know why, until like the teacher, like he kept telling me, like, dude, you don't have to ask. And I was like, that's weird though. Like I feel weird. And I remember telling the teacher, like, that feels weird not asking though. Like I'm so used to it. And then she's like, did you just come from high school? And I'm like, yeah. Like I could tell. And everybody was like, dude, you don't have to ask. And I was like, you're serious though? And then one time I did it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna take the risk. And I felt so nervous standing up and just leaving. And then when I came back, nobody said anything. And I was like, wow, I could just leave this bitch.
I mean, and I just to go to the restroom, you can just leave the class.
Yeah, I know. Nobody's gonna say anything.
You're like, oh, I'm tired. I want to go home. Like you can just leave. Like
I know.
You paid for it.
And I've seen students do that, and I get nervous, dude. Like I miss a class, and I get nervous. I get anxious, dude. Not gonna lie.
You felt missing class is like sucks in college because like, you only go to the class like 3 or 2 times a week. So like missing one, like it affects you, especially
you know you're gonna miss
especially those 2 times a week classes. Like,
exactly.
Like like you end up like it feels like a whole different semester started. You're like have no idea what the hell's going on.
That's crazy.
Especially it was over the weekend, like going Tuesday and then you miss Thursday and then not going till the next Tuesday.
Yeah, like it feels like forever, dude.
Yeah, it just
forever. Like for the people that only go twice a week, like me, I only go for the most part because of work. I only go Tuesdays and Thursdays to school, so I could go full time to work and then get some school going on. But for those of us that go twice a week, from Thursday all the way to Tuesday feels like forever, dude. Like it feels like you had a vacation, and you know that weird feeling when you come back to school after a long vacation and it's like, holy crap, I forgot how it feels to be in school.
Oh yeah, everything. Yeah, like during the summer, even spring break, like even though it's just a week, you still feel like a whole nother semester, man.
I know, man. And you know what, like once the weekend is over, like 3-day vacation or the actual spring break it's over, it's like, oh crap, I have to go to school. It feels weird, dude.
Yeah, like you have no idea what you were doing.
Exactly.
Like even writing feels weird,
like dude, coming back to math after a vacation is the worst because you're like, what was the fucking equation,
Yeah, like those are the worst ones, man.
I hate it, man. Because, like, you forget equations. You forget, like, what the fuck is 2 + 2? Like, goddamn, let me pull out a calculator. You know what? I remember, like, back in high school, dude, I used to know multiplications like a genius. Like, I used to know them by memory. Like, 3 × 12. I mean, I'm not going to do it now because I forgot. But I remember back in high school, it was like, I used to know math, like, on the quick. And now it's like, what the fuck is 4 + 9? Let me use my phone. I feel so dumb now sometimes,
Yeah, it's because depending on which classes you take, because a lot of times like you end up not taking like a certain subject for like 2-3 semesters, and like you leave them till the end. You're like, I don't like math. I'll leave them till the end.
That's the worst mistake. Like whoever's going from high school to college, my best advice is take math. If you need to take math, let it be the first thing you take. That way you go in with already some knowledge that is still fairly fresh, and you don't forget, because I know a lot of people that either took math the second year or they let it all into the end. It's like, and they're saying like it's like learning again, and it sucks.
Yeah, especially like it like you need math for your major, it sucks, especially because like what I did was essentially I took care of all the remedial classes first.
Okay.
Pretty much all the elective, pretty much anything that didn't have to do with major first. And then at the end, like I pretty much took them all in a row. I'm still taking them all in a row.
Yeah.
And yeah, like especially the math, you're like, I'm starting from the beginning.
Yeah, and you gotta learn again.
Yeah, it sucks, but
I mean,
I'm doing it.
Yeah, as long as you make it, man. As long as you make it. Going back to like the whole thing of like teachers having their own life. Like I was talking to a friend because we really recently went to Neon Desert, and that's a festival here in El Paso. To everyone who went, it was amazing. It was lovely. But shout out to Juan. You know who you are. He was telling me that his friends recently became a teacher, and he went to Neon Desert, but he was thinking about it. Like he was, how do I say it? Like thinking twice about going. You know what I mean? Because he said, what if my students see me there? What if they see me having fun? And that's one thing I didn't understand back in high school, back in middle school, or even especially elementary. That is like when you see teachers teaching, for you it's like they live there. You go and they're there always. But you never understand, like, they go home, they have fun, they have a life, And the older you get, you start understanding that, like, oh crap, you know, they also have to buy groceries, you know. So there was times where I would see him at Walmart and I'm like, oh my god, he buys groceries, dude.
I know, as a kid, like seeing a teacher outside of school like blows your mind. Like,
Yeah,
like they exist outside of school.
exactly, dude. And like that whole idea of, I guess I hadn't thought about it in that perspective, because there's teachers that don't go out to places, you know, like my friend's friend, like he like thought about going out to places like Neon Desert or maybe other places, and it's like, crap, like having a job where you have to like think twice about doing that, it kind of sucks, you know. But the way I thought about it and the way he mentioned it, like, it was pretty, I liked his way of thinking, you know. Like, if you see students out there, you know, like, as long as you're not hanging out with them or like doing anything along with them, I think you should be fine. There shouldn't be a problem.
At least for high school students, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for college students, like, you know, they're all adults.
Mm-hmm.
It really doesn't matter that much. But yeah, for high
Yeah.
school students, it's like,
Exactly.
like where you gotta be careful, you know.
Yeah, and there's some like college professors that their students are older than them, you know.
Oh yeah, I've definitely had a few students in the class where like they're like 80 something, like,
Yeah.
or like
yeah,
late
totally.
40s, you know.
Yeah, you know, like one of the ones that I could think of is I was taking medical terminology back when I was trying to study what's it called?
Sonography, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's diagnostic sonography. I was going into that, and I was taking medical terminology, and my teacher for that class, she was like in her 30s, you know, mid 30s maybe. And there was this guy, he was like in his 60s, or like, yeah, I think 60s. And he was taking that class here in the US because he's already a surgeon in Mexico. And he was taking the classes here so he could get a license here, so he could work here. And I'm like, damn, but you're already a surgeon over there. Like, what are you doing? I mean, I get what he's doing here, but it's like, damn, like you're it's like it's having to start again, you know. You're seeing all this, and you look at us, and he's probably like, this is like basics, and we're all like, wow. And he's probably already like grabbed the heart with his bare hands, you know, or something like that. I don't know. But that to me was like, damn, that's crazy.
When you say, you meant surgeon, didn't you?
Yeah.
Not sergeant. That's like a military sergeant.
Surgeon.
Surgeon, yeah, without the T at the end.
Oh, did I say it to you? Oh, my bad.
It sounded like you were like, I thought you were talking about a military.
A sergeant.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
Whoa, what are you doing here? No, yeah, he's a surgeon in Mexico, in Juarez, I guess. But yeah, like he was in his 60s, man, and like I wonder how they feel. You know?
Yeah, talking about like the age thing. In this last semester, in one of my classes, like one of the girls in my classes, she's like 20, I guess, so younger than me. Apparently, like she is a substitute teacher for high school. So like, you know, like,
oh, having him there, like, oh,
I know that's weird because she's young as hell, and then she looks younger than she is.
Wow.
So like, damn, imagine being in high school and seeing her as your substitute teacher.
Totally, man.
That's freaking weird. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, talking about that, like there's some teachers that just don't look like teachers. You know what I mean? I guess once you go to college, maybe in high school you might get some, but I remember for my philosophy class, it was a guy. He was super young, dude, and then he had like this like really young style. He had tattoos, and he'd always dress pretty fresh, and he looked young. So I remember that the first time we attended class for philosophy, it was ethics. Is that, yeah, right? Ethics. Well, it was ethics, and I walk in, and I always sit at the front, man. I hate sitting in the back because I get distracted very fast. So if anyone's doing anything or fidgeting with anything, I'm gonna be staring at that for like the whole class. So I always sit at the front so I could pay attention. And I remember I went to the very front of the class, and this guy, he gets there, right, and he puts his backpack in the table next to me. And I look at him, and I'm like, ready for class, man? He was like, I'm ready. What about you? And I was like, I feel all right. What do you think? You think it's going to be all right? He was like, I hope it goes well. And I'm like, yeah, me too. And then I sit down, and then I see him go up to like the table up front, and I'm like, what is this guy doing? Like in my head, I was like, what is this guy doing? And he takes out his book, sets it up, takes out his laptop, sets it up. And for some reason, I couldn't get it to my head that he was a teacher. And I was just looking at him like, what is this guy doing? like what is the teacher gonna do when he comes in and he sees this kid with his laptop and his desk and whatever, and the door closes and then he's like, all right, students, who's ready to, start the class? And I'm looking at him like, oh, you're the teacher, and I was talking to him like all casual, but it ended up being pretty good, we became, well, we didn't become friends, but we talked pretty cool in that class, and I liked it.
Yeah, I've definitely had that, like several times where, like, yeah, you see this guy come into class and you're like, oh, this dude, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, like, they turn out to be the teacher. Or it also happens the other way around when it's like, this old dude walks into class and, like,
totally,
oh, he looks like a fucking grumpy teacher.
I know, like,
and, like, no, they just sit next to you and, like, they're another student, like, oh, crap.
I don't have to respect you. Okay.
It's weird.
It definitely is.
Yeah. Especially because, like, when you get, like, those old students, it's crazy because, like, they tell you stories and they're like, oh, like, like, I work here already or whatever.
I know.
Like, in one of my classes, I was next to one guy that was an officer. And he's one of those guys that, like, patrol, but, like, they don't use the police cars. They use, like, the sort of, like...
Undercover? Or?
Yeah, sort of the undercover cars. The one that, like he drove a Mustang. Yeah, and
but it was equipped and everything?
Yeah, like, he has his siren on it or whatever.
Damn, that's cool.
Yeah, it was, like, it's weird because, like... Yeah, especially because he talked about the specific one he has, and, like, I've seen it around. Because, like, you can tell it is a cop car. Like, when you close enough to it, you can see, like, the...
Yeah, because I've seen, like, they write police or something, but, like, the letters are, like, almost the same color as the car. So, like,
yeah, and, like, and the siren is, like, inside the car, like,
exactly.
on the front window. Yeah, like, if you get close enough, you notice, and, like, the specific one he was talking about, like, oh, I've seen you. Like, I've seen you around.
You stopped me, bitch. Damn.
Yeah, no, but it's weird.
Yeah, like, once you get to college, like, whoever that hasn't been there, you'll understand. And those of you who are in college, you know what we're talking about. I hate those... How do you say, like, the people that... Have you ever had, like, the people that just lack it, man? Like in the teams. I hate those people, man.
Oh, yes.
Like, you go in, and personally, I'm the type of person that I love communication. Like, I think communication is very important. Whether it's a team, whatever you want to, like, wherever. Communication is key, right? So, I'm always communicating with the team. Like, hey, guys, like, I'm covering this. You guys, what are you covering? Whatever, asking questions. And there's the guys that never answer, never show up to, like, whenever you meet. And then they show up in the last minute for a presentation or whatever, like, so what am I doing? Have you ever had that?
Getting a 0, bro. We kicked you out of the group, like, since day one.
I know, right? And
especially I hate it when, like, the teacher, like, well, make sure everybody's, like, doing their work, because if one of you, like, slacks off, you're all getting, like, a bad grade.
Oh, man.
I hate it. Cause, like,
yes.
Especially when they're the ones that choose the team. Like, because pretty much you're just hoping that the teacher, like, puts you with a
good team.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And I hate those teachers that... Okay, because I had this one teacher that they paired me up with, like, the worst student. And I'm not saying I was the best student, but I was a good student.
Well, I did my part of the work, like...
Yeah, no, I get it.
Like, we failed. It wasn't because of me,
yeah,
that type of stuff.
But... And I asked her, like, why did you pair me up with him? Like, he's not doing his work. He's not answering, nothing. And she's like, it's because you're the best student. I thought you were going to bring the best out of him. And I'm like, look, I'm not here to babysit, okay? I'm paying for these classes, not to babysit. And she's like, oh, my bad. And then I guess she understood my point when I told her that. And the guy was, like, right next to me, dude. And I was like, I don't care. I'm not failing this class. Because I was very close. And I think it was speech. My speech class.
Oh, yeah. It sucks, especially when, like, the group project is, like, a big part of your grade. Because when it's, like, a small part, like, oh, this is a small grade, like, it won't really count.
Yeah.
You get one of those slacking students, like, it sucks, but, like, it won't really affect me in the long run.
Exactly.
But when it's a big part of your grade, or, like, this is gonna count as your final exam sort of type of thing, it's like, you better start doing some work, or, like... Yeah, at least some teachers, like, if you tell them, like... you can write, like, individual reviews, or, like, oh, who did what, so, like, they know who did part. So, like, you have your group grade, and then you have an individual grade for what you did on the group.
Yeah.
So, like, that way it doesn't really affect you that much.
Wow. Were you honest in those?
Yeah, pretty much. As long as nobody was, like, being completely, like, slacking off, like, completely, I didn't really mind. Like, if they only, like, miss a few days, or like maybe they didn't communicate outside of
Okay,
class,
I see.
but when they were in class, like they participate and they help.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I would still give them a good review. I wouldn't.
Okay.
I was
Dude,
like, you know.
I was hella honest, and I was like, you know what, Stephanie over here slacked it. Like she missed one class, and she didn't even tell us why. No, I wasn't that strict. But I was pretty honest. I was like, you know what, like he didn't show up to our meetings outside of class, but in class he was really helpful. Like I always gave him the good and the bad, but I was pretty honest with those. Man, I was thinking of this one class. It was actually at communications class here in college, where this girl thought she could do everything, you know. Like how I'm trying to get the words for it, man, because she wasn't like a brat, but you could tell she was spoiled. I don't know how to say.
I get what you mean.
You know, because she would text us and be like, guys, if any of you could like do my side of the PowerPoint and just let me know when it's done, and I'll practice with you guys. I'm like, okay, no, you're weird.
That's not how it works.
Exactly, man. And I had it opposite, and this one guy that my friend should know. Shout out to Daisy. You know who this guy is, because I had her for the same class. It was one of my first semester. It was my first semester actually. We had psychology, and it was intro to psychology, and she was in there with me, and one of her friends, I'm not gonna say a name, but you know she knows who it is. He was so controlling, man. Like he said, I guess he looked down upon us. I don't know how to say it, man, but he told us, okay guys, I'm gonna do everything. By next morning I'll have it for you. I'm gonna text you the part or send you a picture, practice it, and when we come back you better get it perfect. And I'm like, what?
Nah.
Exactly, man. And they were early college students, you know, so I'm not gonna say I felt better than them, but I was like, what is this kid telling me what to do? Like, I'm not stupid, first of all.
I'm here. I've been here longer than you.
Yeah, like I'm at least 2 years older than you, dude. Like I've seen some shit. Not a lot, but I've seen
Not
more
like
shit.
it helps me in this class, but I've seen it.
Exactly, man. But I remember like I got like, and nobody told him anything. Like, not saying they were afraid, and they just looked at him weird, like, what the fuck? And I was like, is nobody gonna say anything? I was just like, sorry, dude, but I'm gonna do my part. Like, she's like, no, I already know what part you're getting. No, I got it, man. Don't worry about it. And like he kept insisting, like, I'm gonna write your part. And I was like, no, thanks. I know what I'm doing. I'll do it. If I fail, it's my fault. Whatever, you know. But I told him like, there's no need. I got it. But he was quite controlling.
That's not how it works here.
Exactly. And I kind of hope he doesn't hear it, because it was a bit embarrassing even for me to watch. It was a bit cringy, because our teacher, she used to let us do poems and acting to do a presentation. I love the acting ones for some reason. Like there was one time I acted as a detective, and it was fun. She made it very fun. But him, I guess he was very controlling and specific about things, right? So one time his team made a mistake, and I guess in his paper he had it everything like, you know, very specific. Did you ever see that episode of SpongeBob when he has his birthday and he has like every 5 minutes he's like he knows what's gonna happen or so?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Well, it was kind of like that. He was like that, man. So when one thing fell out of control, dude, he shut down. He was like, he started like raising his hands like, what's going on? And he looked at his team like, what are you guys doing? And he would like, okay, he's in front of like 40 people, dude. We were like, we were quite the number. We were like 40 people in total in that class. It was a big class for that school. He was in front of 40 people in one room. So if you whisper and everyone's silent to hear you, they could hear you. You know, he was like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? And everybody's like, what the fuck? And then his team's just like, just let it go. But he couldn't understand the let it go, the let it flow. You know, we made a mistake, whatever. And he's like, no, guys, what are you guys doing? And he would keep flipping the paper in front of him, like, read it. And then they're like, dude, they came to the point where they just ignored him. I think it was a team of 5, and it was 4 people giving the presentation and him struggling in the side, up to the point where he quit the team in front of everyone. Mid presentation, he quit the team and went to sit down and it was like a desk next to them, and he said it out loud, I quit, I don't even know what's going on. and everybody was just like, what the fuck? Just looking at him like, what the hell, dude?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, and the team just went on, and the team did fine, like they did fine. Sure, mistakes happen. We all had mistakes, but he couldn't take it, dude.
A total
Poor guy.
control freak, man.
Yeah, I mean, he looked like an okay guy, but for the interactions we had, they weren't the best, I guess. But he might have been an okay guy.
Yeah, I definitely have had students in my classes.
You're a teacher or what?
No, but like we're
Your peers.
peers. Yeah,
You make it
peers.
sound like, in my class. What the fuck do you teach?
I teach on the weekends.
What do you teach then?
I don't know.
I don't. I just go.
They just listen to me.
You go and rant about your day. You vent. Man, this week, fuck.
Hopefully you learn something.
I know, teaching life
No,
experiences.
yeah, but like peers in my classes,
Okay.
they're definitely like the know-it-alls. They're like,
yes,
and like
man.
for everything they have to have an opinion, no matter what.
Even if they don't know shit about it.
Like the teacher's giving a lecture, like you're supposed to be writing notes, not like giving your comment every like 5 sentences. And, like,
Okay. I see what
and
you
they
mean.
never say like, oh, like that's interesting. What and all they say like, oh, I already know about this,
Oh.
or like, oh no, you're wrong. I already know that.
Oh
Like,
my god, yeah.
I know the correct one. Like, bro,
Dude, I had that in this class, and sometimes like, okay, it's okay if you know it. You don't have to rub it in people's face it when they don't. Because okay, I was taking accounting this last semester that I just took, and it was accounting 2. Yeah, accounting 2, right? And there was this one guy that he's majoring to be an accountant, and he's actually really into it. So this one time we were doing this accounting problem, and it was about, I can't remember the problem. Point is, we had to multiply it and then divide by different accounts, whatever. So this team over here, or this table, the teacher asked, so what's the number? And the guy's like, let's say 600. And the table over here is like, oh, well, we got 540 or so. And he's like, nope, 600. And the other kids are like, well, we got 540. And the teacher's like, okay, so who's right? What did you guys do? And the guy's like, it's 6. I don't know why they're saying it's 540. And the kids are like, well, we did the problem. Like, maybe they're wrong, and it's okay. Maybe they are. Maybe you are right. But it's like, let them find out why. Don't just say, I'm right, you're wrong, And it was hilarious because the students were like, well, we got 540. Like, we did the problem step by step. And he's like, well, I already did it, and I already got it right in the computer. So you could say whatever you want. I'm right. And everybody's just like, what the fuck? And I was right behind him, just looking at him
like whenever I see a student like that, I hope they're wrong. Like I just
Right?
hope they're wrong.
Sadly, he was right. But dude, I was behind him just staring at him like, dude, shut up. Like, it was kind of annoying for him to like keep repeating like it's 600, it's 600. Oh man. But yeah, definitely I hate those, like, and it's okay to know it all. If you know it all, good for you. You did your shit. You got your shit together. But like, you don't have to like tell people you're wrong or like rub it in people's faces, man. That's annoying.
I know, man. There was a student in this class that like was sitting like almost right next to me, and like he made conversation with everybody else around him. But you could immediately tell the conversation was just an excuse to like to give like cool facts about himself.
Oh,
like
wow.
no matter what the conversation was about, like he would try to like
fit it
like
in.
like steer the conversation in a way where he could like brag about something of his
Oh my
about
God.
his life. And like,
I
dude,
hate
like,
that, dude.
please stop. Like,
Just shut up.
and like you cannot really say anything. Well, you can, but like you just
Yeah.
you're in college, like you don't really want any conflict with nobody,
Yeah, you just want to go home.
especially because in college, conflict like can get serious,
Yeah.
So, like, so you just gotta like ignore him and just like
Exactly.
waiting for him to stop talking, or like waiting for the teacher to get to class and
Yeah.
start the class. So you have to like
So you can
so
shut
you're
up.
spared from this, so
Oh,
like,
yeah. Totally. You know what? Okay, like, something I've noticed, and I'm not bashing on any of the early college students. I'm not bashing on them, It's not... The fact that the kid that I'm about to talk about was an early college student has nothing to do with the rest of them. But it just so happened that he was. And it was this one class, and he always had something to say. Not like being a smart ass, not being a know-it-all. He just always has something to say. Like, the teacher would make a comment. He'd be like, yeah, that's right, teacher, that's right. And it's like, dude, stop sucking ass, you know. And like it was so annoying though. Like he was sitting like, I guess behind me, and he just always had a comment, and like to the point where like the teacher didn't even answer back. That's how much he would comment, dude. Like sometimes when you comment back, the teacher likes that, you know, like, hey, you know, you get me.
Yeah,
or, like,
they like the engagement.
exactly.
But there gets to a point where like, dude, please.
This guy, oh my god, and like he would go in like, hey, mister, or it was a, hey, miss, good morning, you know, and it's like, okay, whatever. But like every comment, dude, just like, yeah, miss, that's right. Oh, I remember. Yeah, you did say that. It's like, oh, dude, shut up. Please just stop. And he would, like, obnoxiously laugh to, like, one of her jokes. Like, not even the funny ones. She wasn't even funny. I'm sorry, but she wasn't. And he would be obnoxiously laughing in the back. Like, oh, I'm going to tell that to my friends. Say it again. Like, dude, come on. Just don't make her say it again. Yeah.
Like, he probably had the hots for the t-shirt, like, or something, like.
She was old, dude. Unless he had it for like older ladies, you know. But
I don't know. Maybe he sucked at that like subject, and he was like trying to like get on the t-shirt good.
I know, right? Like, it wasn't even a hard subject, dude. But either way, man, like, don't do that, guys. Don't suck ass.
Yeah. The talking about early college, early college guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's called.
Early college, yeah.
Early college students. It's hilarious because like you always say, man, you can immediately tell they're early college.
Yeah.
But like one of the things you notice immediately is the backpacks.
They have huge backpacks, don't they?
I know. And I had one of those in high school.
I was there.
Yeah, because you know, like especially if your locker was far away or whatever.
I never used my locker, dude.
I did it.
And by the time I got to high school, they closed them all. They didn't let us use them anymore.
Yeah, but when I still went, and they still used them, you know, and every class had like their book, and the books were huge.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You had to like.
Okay.
There was no way you couldn't.
Dang.
So yeah, we had to use the lockers in high school, and you know you carry the big backpacks, especially when the lockers were far away. So like you didn't have time between classes to like go for the books. So like you just had to carry both of them. So like you over there with like freaking big ass backpack, looks like you're hiking or whatever.
I know. Like, where are you going camping, dude?
But in college you got like a little backpack, you know, like the one that only has one strap.
Yeah, honestly, the reason why my backpack's a bit heavy is because I have my laptop. Like that's it. The rest is like what I got, like 3 notebooks.
Yeah, and mine is kind of heavy, but it's only because one of the books I carry like to read, like in between classes, because like the classes like there's a lot of time between them, so like I need something to do.
Get those breaks. Yeah, man, but like I remember I used to be that high school student that like I would keep every paper from the beginning of school till the end, and that was why my backpack was huge.
And I sometimes do that, but mostly because I forget, and not because I keep them for any other reason. Yeah, but like you always say, early college students, you know, like they.
One time, and okay, I kind of found it funny. And again, I'm not bashing on early college students. You know, I'm actually like impressed. You know, they're doing college and high school. That's very impressive, and that's something to be proud of. And congrats to anyone who's doing it. So I'm not bashing on them. They just so happened to be early college, and if it would have been any other person, I would have been laughing at them too. But so I guess their bus got there, right? And I don't know what school it was, whatever. But it was like 5 kids, and they all had huge backpacks, and they all went into like the cafeteria area or the common area, and they went to, there's a store in the common area, so they crossed the common area like zigzagging through the tables, and they're holding on to each other's backpacks from the back. So it's like a little snake of early college students holding on to each other's huge backpacks, and I'm like, oh my god.
And they're supposed to be like juniors, seniors, right? Like
no, like I think they can start from freshmen. I mean, there's certain schools they start them young, dude. But
damn,
I was looking at him like, dude, that's funny. And it's again, it's not because they were early college, but it was just so funny to watch them like zigzagging through the tables, struggling to pass through the chairs. They had to hold on to, like, there was sometimes where like one would go faster, and like they would be stretching their arms a lot just not to let go. And I'm like, dude, you could walk on your own. You're not blind. You could do it. Come on, you know. Left, right, dude. Come on.
I know. It's just funny, especially like the same thing you did, like they're raising their hand in class.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's just funny, man. It's just entertaining. It's entertaining, especially because, like I said, sometimes within classes you don't have anything to do. So like sometimes you're reading a book, sometimes you're just sitting like down, just people watching, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see them pass by, and it's like,
oh, dude, I know.
There goes one.
I can smell it.
Yeah.
I can see
Also,
it.
it's really funny when they have the tours of like high school student or middle school
Oh,
students. You know, and like,
Uh-huh.
like the way they're looking at everything, it's like they're looking at a different planet. It's like,
Yeah, and you know, I was there, dude. I was there. You know, my weirdest experience with that was, I think it was like my second semester, or like, no, it was already my second year in college, and they had this tour for like high school students, and they look very young. Like they probably didn't even look like seniors; they were probably like sophomores. I don't know why they had them so early there, because they had my tour when I was about to graduate. But either way, right? I'm going up.
Well, I think that they do like all around, because I also see middle school students taking
True.
tours. So
That I kind of get, you know, kind of get them excited. But, well, yeah, they look pretty young, right? And I'm going up the stairs, and I get out the stairs, and I'm walking by, and I'm crossing, I guess the line of students, or just the group of students, right? And I'm waiting for them to pass through the door, because it's a double doors, but I mean, there's a bunch of students, so I have to wait until they all go in so I could get out. And then this girl, she looks at me, and she winks, and she's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hey," you know, like I'm actually just trying to pass by. Like I didn't say anything. I was just like, "Hey," and she's like, "Can I have your phone number?" And I guess the teacher that was on that group, she heard her. She's like, "Emily, control yourself." And I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "That's hilarious, dude." Like, I don't know, like for the teacher to say "control yourself," I'm like, damn, you must have some history, girl.
yeah, like she definitely has a reputation.
Exactly.
The teacher knows. The teacher knows.
Yeah. So
Probably not the first time she does it.
yeah, so I laughed, and I just like passed by, and I like that was funny, man. That was hilarious. Well, we're at 1 hour now, and I think that's a pretty good time. And we're trying to keep it controlled to an hour, because last time we said that, and we did an hour and a half. But yeah, I think an hour is a good time.
Yeah, it was a good hour.
A good hour,
To be honest.
Yeah, and hopefully next time we manage to get Eddie here again, because you know, conversations are always better between the three of us. Well, thank you again for anyone who's listening, whether you're going to school, work, whatever. Thank you. We really, really appreciate it. And tune in for next time. And again, we have a Facebook already as 2BH Podcast, a Twitter as 2BH Podcast, and now we're uploading to YouTube only. So if you're hearing this, you're probably already there as 2BH Podcast. And if you like our content, please share, like, subscribe for the next one if you really want to hear us again.
Yeah, also give us your feedback, you know. Like,
yeah, we'd love your feedback.
Improve, so.
Exactly. And if you had your own stories of teachers, you know, school experiences, anything like that, let us know. We'd love to hear new stories, and maybe we'll tell them next time, you know, because we've had some feedback and some stories, like especially from the scary stories. We had a couple people give us feedback of their own scary stories, which was very nice. So thank you again for listening. We are 2BH, Irresistibly Honest.